All right, you've been listening in there to the sentencing of Lori Vallow Daybell. There is a lot to unpack with this case. It is a timeline spanning 3 years in multiple states, but now we have learned that she will spend her life in prison without the possibility of parole. I'm joined right now by KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas to break down some of what happened in this case, what's happening now, and what happens next. Greg, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. That was a lot to listen to. If you're not of a legal mind and you don't quite understand the process, to hear all those different sentences laid out, this means Lori is never getting out of prison.
No, ever, not ever. And in fact, the judge gave her, after the first sentence, which was life in prison without the possibility of parole, and that's exactly what it means. He ran 3 of those consecutive to one another. So in other words, like you said, she's never going to get out of prison, and he's making 100% sure that she never gets out of prison. And he's really upset at the way she handled everything, including her statement today.
Yeah. He said you need to be held accountable for each crime, as he described running those consecutive. So they're one after another. I mean, multiple lifetimes, essentially, here is what he is saying. You bring up what she said. This is the first time we've heard Lori speak about this case in the entire time since she's been arrested until now. And to hear some of the things that she claimed, talking about visions of the children coming to her after their murders, and then the judge to weigh in. Is it normal for a judge in a sentencing phase to really give that much detail and that much opinion before his sentence is given out?
Yeah, I think, Shara, he didn't have much of a choice in this case because the case had taken so long and it had so much public interest. And he knew beforehand, I mean, he sort of read those statements. He probably wrote them last night or last few days, what he was going to do. But I think it's important for him to give a statement to the police, to the prosecutors, and to the public, the people of Idaho, that this type of conduct will not be tolerated, that her statement didn't help herself, that her excuses, her defenses, her sort of wild notions were not going to be taken into account. And he really wanted to make a statement. He could have done that just by the sentence itself, but he gave a description of why he was doing it, which I think was probably helpful to everyone.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of court cases, and I haven't heard a judge go that in depth when it comes to that. So that was interesting, but he kept circling back to the fact that this was so shocking that she had no criminal history, and then that she showed no remorse in the fact that she committed such heinous crimes. And in the death row and children.
I know, just the opposite. If you listen to her, what she's saying is, I've talked to them since, and they're in a better place. Yeah. They're happy now. They're busy. She used those words repeatedly. She said, I've talked to Tylee, and she talked about how much pain she had been in during her life, as though she wanted us all to believe that she did that child a favor. She talked about JJ and his struggles, and now that he's doing well and he's happy and he talks to her as though she did him a favor. And really the same with Tammy, if you think about it. I mean, she's not only not taking any responsibility for her conduct, but she's justifying her conduct, which to the judge means there's no hope of rehabilitation. And her attorney said, let's give her 20 years to life and see if there's some hope that something can come of this. The judge is saying, I see no chance of that.